The Ozark National Forest covers an expanse of nearly 47,000 miles. Its wild landscape encompasses a significant portion of southern Missouri, as well as bleeding into the northern portions of both Oklahoma and Arkansas. The region's name is believed to be derived from the word Ozark, meaning with bows. The phrase is commonly thought to be in reference to the Native Americans who once used the region as their hunting grounds using traditional archery. The Ozarks' wild history is full of adventurous stories that outline the native species that were heavily sought after by the outdoorsmen who ventured through the highland region. Nowadays, fly fishermen flock to specific regions throughout the Ozarks in pursuit of, in many cases, tailwater trout. While fishing these man-made fisheries can often produce fish that by many standards would be considered a fish of a lifetime, what intrigued us the most is a species that is endemic to the watersheds of the Ozark region. For whatever reason, this species seems to be overshadowed by the allure of the age-old stereotype of fly fishing for trout, all the while being neglected by the conservationists who overlook this incredible game fish. These fish hide all throughout the Ozark rivers and creeks and live a hard, gritty life. This blue-collar fish scraps and fights its way through each day, often taking years upon years to reach maturity. Smallmouth have captured the heart of a select few anglers who have dedicated their livelihoods to preserving this natural resource. In an effort to learn more about these fish and the challenges that they face, we reached out to a band of dedicated anglers led by Ryan Walker to help bring to light what needs to be done to ensure that these native fish are here to stay for future generations to come. Welcome to the Ozark Smallmouth Alliance.
Ozark Smallmouth Alliance is a grassroots organization. We've kind of dedicated ourselves to what we consider the premier game fish in the Ozarks, which is the smallmouth bass, obviously. Started about 5 years ago, and it really started out of my hate for trout. Hey folks, Ryan Walker, Ozark Smallmouth Alliance. I'm here with my good friend Jeremy. Shouldn't be that way, but trout get all the love, trout get all the money. They've got the political organizations, and these smallmouth that live here are, you know, just like we talked about, are endemic. They're native. They grew up here just like we did. We've talked about the challenges of smallmouth, and I think the biggest one is just malaise. They're here, we take them for granted, they're self-sustaining, they don't need a bunch of care and feeding like trout do. They don't need super specific conditions, although they are finicky and fickle, and they can be just like trout, but they just get taken for granted. And I've noticed past couple of years a really sharp decline in the big fish, what we call in OSA the old growth fish. 17 inches and over, 12, 15-year-old fish. So see that right there? That fish has been caught and released. That fish is 13, 14 years old, caught and released how many times and paid forward for someone? I mean, for me, out here, to catch. That's a gift. It is a gift. Someone gave me that fish. Funny how it came about. I'd gotten back into guiding part-time, and I was on a little creek and had just seen a sign that another smallmouth organization had put up about how long it actually takes to grow a smallmouth to keep her size. And a 12-inch fish in these waters is 6-7 years old. And I came upon a couple that were fishing a hole, and they each had 2 or 3 13, 14-inch smallmouth on a stringer. And I just looked at that and I thought, there's 3 fish at 8 years apiece on each stringer. It's 24 years of aggregate growth on each stringer. It's 48 years of aggregate growth that is just gone. Cannot be replaced, will not be replaced. That fish represents 6 years, 7 years possibly of growth, and hard scrabble growth, man. It's not gobies and menhaden all day. It's crawfish and sticklebacks and stone rollers all day. So it's a hard scrabble life for these guys.
You keep it on the low, you won't let the law get to it. You gotta let them know that we'll find the West Coast and lose it. What's the next move, honey? Make the call. How we gonna run with the money after I break his jaw? You keep it on the low, won't let the law get to it. You gotta let them know we'll find the West Coast and lose it. I hear the sirens coming, make the call. You keep it on the low, won't let the law get to it. You gotta let them know we'll find the West Coast and lose it. I hear the sirens coming, make the call. Is he gonna cry like a woman after I break his
They're great. They're a perfect fly rod fish because of the way they eat, the water they hold in them, and they don't. I mean, look around us. They don't live in sucky places. They live in beautiful places. But they're a challenging fish on the fly rod, and that's one of the things I love about them. I mean, is matching wits with them, and you know, they're beautiful, gorgeous fish. They're perfectly suited to the rivers that they live in. They change colors with the bottom. They change colors with water clarity, and they're just a ton of fun, man.
Primary goal of OSA.
Awareness. So we've got 3 mottos. We've got preserve, protect, and promote. You can't get the first 2 without the third one. The third one is a catch-22, right? The more we promote it, the more people are doing it, the less free water, you know, like we've had the past 2 days that we're going to have. But without promoting it, without letting people know, A, how long it takes to grow them, B, how special the resource is and they're a native fish, you're not going to be able to do the first 2, which is protect and preserve. And protect and preserve are 2 distinctly different words, right? Protect the fish from mainly ourselves. You know, the reason they do grow so slow is because of the hard scrabble life. I mean, they're not like the big northern fish that have gobies and menhaden and all that, you know, school bait fish in the lakes to eat. Protecting them means raising awareness, and it gets right back to that promotion. It means telling people how long it takes to get that big, how much fun they are to catch, proper handling techniques, proper CNR. From there, you can, I think you can preserve, you know, this resource deserves to be moved along from generation to generation. God love Missouri Department of Conservation, man. They've got a very unenviable task of managing for the masses. So, you know, there needs to be some changes to creel limits, to length limits. There needs to be more trophy areas where it's 1 fish over 15 or 1 fish over 18 that can be kept. Because it just, each one of these fish, and Cole, you've heard me say it, they're a gift. They're passed forward. I mean, we've been on the water, what, for, you know, a day now, a full day, counting yesterday, and we haven't seen another sole yet. The river's beautiful. We've seen eagles, and you know, we live in one of the most beautiful places on the planet, and it's still one of the most wild places on the planet, and one of my goals is to keep it that way.